Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. Today we are, as always, super excited because we are continuing on with our theme of finish strong and get ready. The month of December is not the time to get lazy. You don't wait till January to get things ready and to start getting ready for the new year and a marketing plan and organization and everything else. It doesn't make sense. I was just talking with one of my clients today and we were talking about how when you're doing marketing, when you're getting ready for things, when you're planning for your company's future, it's not like you don't do something today expecting it to affect tomorrow right away. You don't do something even sometimes today that is going to affect this month. It might affect next month, the month after that. So that's what we're talking about here. You got to get ready now for next year's growth. So hopefully you are planning to dominate next year. And I hope that you have a really good plan and that it's not just, well, I'm going to work harder than I did last year. Yes, I'm going to work hard. That's not a game plan. I promise working hard is important, but today's theme is hard work isn't enough. Relationships matter. So we're going to talk about one aspect of building your business, which is relationships, and they are super important. So today we're going to help you guys define what a good partner is, what a good relationship is, how to communicate with those guys, how to make it a very successful relationship for everybody. So let's jump right in, Troy. What is the first thing that someone should do in identifying a good relationship or partner when it comes to business, I'm saying?
So, talking about partnerships, let me tell you about my wife.
Yeah, we're not talking about wives
That's
today.
not what we're talking about today?
That will be another podcast.
Okay.
But we got to make sure our wives don't listen to it.
Let me just change everything then here. No, all right, yes, we're talking about business partners,
Yes.
right? And that doesn't necessarily mean like your partner, like Trevor and I are partners, right, in a business. It's partnerships outside of your business that are going to help you grow your business. So what I'm going to talk about first is how do you define your perfect partner?
Yeah.
Because this is really important. You do not want to be a partner with everybody.
Yeah. No.
Because guess what? If you're a partner with everybody, you're really a partner with nobody.
Yep.
And you're not going to get any sales. And you're not going to grow your business.
Yep.
So you've got to define who is your perfect partner. Then you have to go after that partner and have a plan on how you're going to create that partnership and create a successful partnership.
Yeah.
So how do you define the perfect partner? Well, first thing you want to look at is what is their profession, right? So what do they do for a living? And how does that correlate with your business?
Yeah.
You know, for example, like if I own a carpet cleaning business, an attorney is probably not the best partner for me.
Yeah. Yeah. They might be a client.
They might be a client, exactly, but they're probably not the best partner.
Yeah.
Right? I need to be looking for someone that is in a like field or at least has a similar client base.
Yes, the partnership has to make sense. I can't tell you how many times we get approached by somebody just because we have tons of clients that they're like, oh man, we should partner up and we're going to make a ton of money together. And we're like, what is it that you offer? We sell candles. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't go along with my clientele. So I get it. You want access to my people, but that doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly. So you want to look at their profession and pick ones that are going to correlate. So for example, if I'm a carpet cleaner, I might, go out there and look for people that do window washing.
Yeah.
And do a partnership with them. Or, if I am, let's say, I don't know, what do you think? A
home inspector.
Yep.
Could partner up with, another one would be carpet cleaners, window cleaners. For home inspectors, real estate agents.
Yes.
All of our home inspectors went, duh, that's what we do. Yes. If you're not doing that as a home inspector, you need to be hooking up with the real estate agents. But why I say carpet cleaners and window washers and stuff, they know what's going on. They know when someone's selling their house. When one of their clients is going to sell their house and they're getting their carpets cleaned and they're getting their windows washed, you got to think outside the box. You can't just do what everybody else is doing because every home inspector is probably trying to make relationships with realtors. Well, that's awesome. So how do we find, it's like in SEO when we talk about, keywords and then long tail keywords. A regular keyword is just like dentist Gilbert, but a long tail keyword still can bring you good business, but it's going to be something more like best dentist in Gilbert, Arizona, or the best child dentist or kid-friendly dentist. So all these words that are not your specific word, that's the same thing. Think of your business outside the box. So carpet cleaners know when someone's moving. They also, window washers know when someone's moving. So who can you partner up with that has a lot of clientele that could be feeding you customers.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Another great example of that could be like thinking outside the box, right? Let's take a carpet cleaner again, right? Another great one could be a property management company.
Yep.
That is going to need their carpets cleaned, right?
Yeah.
Their clients are going to need their carpets cleaned. Another one that you may not think of is a janitorial service.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you can go in and you could do carpets in businesses.
Yeah.
You know,
all of these are like anything within the service industry that's like window washers, carpet cleaners, home inspectors, like all of these services can communicate with each other. Because even the property management,
yes.
If you could become the home inspector for that property management company, you could be full-time right there, just getting tons of business.
Exactly. So look at what they do, see how it correlates, and then, who are their clients?
Yeah.
Are their clients your clients? And we've kind of been talking about that.
Yeah.
Does it match up? If it matches up, then it's probably a good relationship.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is, how many clients do they have?
Yeah.
That's really important too, because and the question you need to ask yourself is, how many clients do they need to have?
Yes.
So that they're going to be worth my time?
Yeah. Because relationships take time.
Right. And that may sound bad, like, oh, jerk, you don't have time for me. But it's the truth, right?
Yeah.
If I've only got so much time in a day that I can work with different partners. If I have a partner that has, 1,000 clients, for example, I actually was just on a call today with a potential partner, 1,000 clients, right? That's someone that I can spend time with and put energy into that relationship because there's a lot of return that could come from that. Yeah. Now, if I were to spend that same hour with somebody who has one client.
Yeah. Or even for our business, even if they had, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 clients, it still is not enough. It's not going to be a good, synergy because I've got a lot of clients. I've got thousands of clients that they're getting access to, but I'm only going to get access to a potential of 100. And we know that not everybody's going to close on every deal. So again, that doesn't make sense. So you really need to know like your numbers and close rates and all of that kind of stuff so that you can then gauge all of this. And yes, that jumps into other podcasts. I know, right. numbers, but yeah.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you kind of have your threshold of like, they've got to have this many clients at least for me to put my energy and effort into it. Or maybe what you do is if they have less than a certain number of clients, you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to connect you with one of my team members. They're going to spend their time and work with that person versus you spending your time. Yeah. You may save your time for like the clients that are just have a ton of potential there, right? Or the partners. Now, the other thing is, how do they communicate with their clients?
Right.
This is really, really important, because if, let's say, for example, you find a partner, they've got tons of clients, this is great, but their main form of communication is that they email everyone.
Yeah.
And you have never been able to sell your services through email, right? Then they're maybe not the right partner for you. Or maybe they have 10,000 people that read their newsletter every month.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not going to work for your business. So you need to look at how do they communicate and then make sure it matches your form of selling so that they're the right partner. Because we've had that happen too. People are like, oh my gosh, I've got this list of 600,000 people that I can email, right? And it's like, yeah, but how many people actually open your emails? That's the other thing too, is how effective of a partner are they, right? So how do they communicate? Does it match up with your business? All right, now Trevor. So let's say we've identified our partners or our potential partners that we want to work with. How do
they call that? The top 100? Maybe it's the top 10.
Exactly. How do you actually connect with them?
Well, there's many different ways that you can do that. So one of the best ways that we have found is if you know somebody that knows them. If you can have a personal introduction from a friend or a family member or something like that, that is definitely the best way to get in the door with these people.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, there's many other ways that you can do it. And I'll give you a good story here in a second. But the other thing is, so first, introductions are the best. Personal introductions are always the best. Second would be to like join a group that they're a part of. Are they a part of a BNI, or maybe they run a group and you could join their group or something like that. The third thing would be to donate or raise money for one of their charities. So a lot of businesses, it's a big thing nowadays that it's like for every, so-and-so percentage that, we get in, we're going to give a percentage back to this foundation or something like that. You can approach that person and say, hey, I would really love to donate to your foundation. That's such a cool thing. Like, and that's going to pique their attention. They're going to say, oh, wow, okay, great, thanks. And it's going to give you an opening in the door to talk to these people. Like a perfect example of that would be Joe Polish, who we've talked about a lot, but he's just been amazing in business. He's done so much and excelled so much. And Joe actually wanted to get the attention of Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson.
Yes.
Virgin Records and all the other cool stuff that he's doing. Well, he was kind of like, man, how do I think outside the box? How do I get this guy to communicate with me? Because he's never going to talk to me.
Yeah, this billionaire, right?
Yeah, billionaire.
Should I send him an email? You think that'll work?
Yeah, maybe you'll get to like 50 people down and they'll just reject you. So he was thinking, and he was the one that came up with raising the money. He saw that Sir Richard Branson had this foundation, charity that he was raising money for. And so Joe had his network and connections. And so he went out to his network and he said, hey, we're going to raise this money and we're going to help this foundation out and and here's our goal. And so he went and got all of his people and they raised a bunch of money. And then they were able to turn it over to Sir Richard Branson, this foundation. And it made a great introduction. I mean, of course, Branson was super excited about the money that was being donated and everything like that. Right. And it was going to go over to the charity and they were going to give it to him together and everything like that. And so he had something to communicate with him about. If you just hit somebody up out of the blue, I can't tell you my LinkedIn. Yeah, don't message me on LinkedIn because I've never once looked at LinkedIn in my messages because I get probably 15 add me as a friend, add me as a connection every single day. And sure, I add them up, but it's like everybody then starts messaging me immediately. Hey, we'd love to do business with you. And why don't and it's just like, it's too much and I don't pay attention to it. So that doesn't work. Yeah. If they were to get to me in a way that it worked, you got to think about how is it going to work for me? You want to analyze this person. Don't just send off a random email or a Facebook message or a tweet or a LinkedIn message. Like research me, do a little research and find a way that's going to pique my interest. So another way that somebody told me about, which was really cool, he was trying to get in the door with this guy and again, it was just one of those like way up there, man, I don't know if this is going to work and everything. So he did research. He found out that the guy was like a Volkswagen, old school Volkswagen, yes. Loved the vehicles, loved them all and everything. So he's like, man, okay, what can I do with Volkswagen bugs? Like, can I just get him like a little Volkswagen bug, thing to put on his desk and I'll mail it to him and everything? He's like, no, that's not going to work. So what he did is he went and he thought really outside the box, but it worked. He went to a junkyard and found an old Volkswagen bug door. And he brought it back and he kind of restored it a little bit, shined it up, and then he wrote a letter and he put it on the window and he rolled the window down. And then he put another note on the thing that said, roll the window up on the door. It says, roll the window up. And he mails it to the guy at his office.
Yeah, I think he said it was like $100 or whatever to have it like delivered to this guy's office. Yes.
And so it goes right up all the way past security and everybody, and it gets right to the receptionist. And the receptionist is like, oh my gosh, what is this Volkswagen door? And boss, come here. You need to look at this. Someone shipped you a Volkswagen door. And the boss is like, what? And so he goes out and there's a note on there that says, roll up the window. And he rolls up the window and boom, here's this note from him and talking about how he'd love to connect with him. He loved his book. He loves his podcast. He gets all of his email marketing and everything. And so he got his foot in the door. He had done his research. He didn't just, randomly send this guy something. He had actually been listening to the guy's podcast. He had actually been, following him on social media and emails and all this stuff. And he did something outside the box that really blew the guy away.
Yes.
Which was really cool and such an innovative way to get to people. So how can you get to that person? If it's somebody that's like, you're just like, how am I ever going to get to him? Really think outside the box. Now, I mean, that's probably pretty extreme because most people are going to just make connections and it's people that they can talk to or whatever. But still, think outside the box and make it fun. Make it fun. Make yourself memorable, right? Okay, so that's some ideas of how to get to people. Doing your research is one of the biggest things for the most part, right? The next thing would be, what can you offer people?
Well, real quick, before we go to that, there's one more that I thought of that I think, is another great way to get to people, and that is hire them. If you're calling somebody and you're trying to get their attention and they're not, getting back to you, right? You can't seem to make that connection. One way you can make them pick up the phone is to hire them to do work for you.
What do we do for our clients? We pick up the phone for our clients. If a client calls us and says, hey, I need to talk to you, you call them back. That's such a smart idea. Yes, hire them. That's the other thing too, is like, don't be cheap about it. Like, you're trying to make a connection that's going to help grow your business. Think about the future. Everyone's always so focused on today, and it's like, oh, but if I hire this guy to clean my windows and I'm spending $400 to get my windows, so what? What is that $400 if you land this relationship going to bring into your door? Don't be narrow-sighted. Think long-term, right?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Hire them.
Yeah, and kind of going back to like what you said earlier about joining a group, like I can't tell you how many people I know that wanted to get to this marketing guru or that marketing guru.
Yes.
Well, how did they do it? They joined their $25,000 a year group.
Yes.
And that's how they got the introduction.
Absolutely.
That's how they, ended up partnering and making way more money than the $25,000.
Absolutely.
So
we grew our business through groups, right?
Exactly.
We when we were really little, we started with the BNI and the network after work type stuff, and and it was just these small time meetings and everything. And then we grew from there. We were like, wow, this does actually work. Hey, we got 1 or 2 people, and then it was like 2 or 3, and then 5, and then we were like, cool. Well, we need bigger events, and that's how we grew. Pretty quickly, and then we started putting on hundreds of clients. So groups absolutely work too, but you got to take the time, energy, and efforts. Everything takes time, energy, and effort, or money, and that's a big problem. Is a lot of people go, I don't have time. Okay, well, are you busy? You need more work? Then you got time. If you need more work, you got time. If you need more money, you've got time. Like, everybody wants it like the quickest way possible to money.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to build a business. Build something that's going to last, right?
Right. And the answer, like what you just said, like, it's like, I need more work. Well, then you have time. If you don't have time, that means you have money.
Yeah.
Right? If you have no time left, that means you're booked solid, which means you have to have money. Otherwise, you're running a business that's basically already dead.
Yeah.
So you have one or the other, right?
Yes.
And now these are a couple of different ways that you can utilize those to make it happen, And again, we haven't even talked about like the importance of referral partners, and we've shared this in like one of our past podcasts. But you mentioned Joe Polish. Joe Polish, we partnered with him. We put on 350 clients in one day.
It was awesome.
With him.
Amazing.
So with other partners, we put on 150 new clients in a single day.
Yeah.
So that's why we're talking about this with partners, because you can find the right partner and it can just blow your business up. Yeah. All right. So now let's go to the next thing.
Yeah.
So once you get that connection, what can you offer them?
You better be ready. You better be ready. You can't just walk in the door and be like, I'd like to connect with you, and I think it'd be beneficial. Oh, great. What do you have in mind? No, you've got to have a plan.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. It's like, okay, great. Thanks. That was great to meet with you, but that was a waste of my time. And that totally turns me off, because we have had people, I think we got to do some great business together and everything. Okay, great. What did you have in mind? Well, I'm still working the details out. Okay, great. Why didn't you contact me and meet with me when you had the details worked out? Why did you just waste my time?
Right.
Which turns me off to those kind of partnerships all the time. So
yeah. And what can you offer them? Right. Because here's the thing. There's tons of people that come to us and say, oh my gosh, like, I want to partner with you guys. Okay, great. What are we going to do? You can like totally promote my stuff to your people. Okay.
Well, you have 3,800 clients and I really want to get to those guys. I really want to get to those guys.
So what is that going to do for me?
Yeah.
Right?
It does nothing.
Because that's what the person cares about when you're partnering, right?
Yeah.
Is what can you offer them? What makes it worth it to them? So let's talk
about.
And
there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Right. There's nothing wrong, because our time is precious. Where we put our energy and efforts is precious. When someone's going to do an email blast for you, a webinar or an event or something like that, they are putting time, energy, efforts, and money into that. They've either already done it by building it, or they're going to be putting it into it that way. So they need to be, having it benefit them.
Right. Exactly. So what can you offer them? Well, one of the first things that you can do is offer them commissions. Mm-hmm. Really simple, right? The great thing about a commission is that they brought somebody to you, so you're not paying anything out until you made money, right? So commissions are a great way to do it. And it's very simple. You can do percentages, you can do flat fee, whatever it is. But that way you can come into them and you can say, okay, great. You've got this many clients. We'd love to offer this out to them. You're going to make this much.
Yep.
Right? And it's based on the sales. So commissions are a good way to do it. Another way to do it is offer discounts to their clients. So they may say, you know what, I'm really not interested in making money on that.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't interest me. We've had people say that to us before.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to make any money.
I don't want to make any money. Okay, great. Then let me do this. How about I give a discount to your clients?
Yeah.
So your clients are getting my great service, but they're getting a discount because of you.
Yeah.
So at that point, what you're giving them is you're giving them like a boost in their reputation with all of their clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the clients are saving money because of them.
Yeah. And if they come to you without that person, it's full price.
Exactly. So that's a benefit to them, meaning it makes them look really good to their clients. Okay. Another thing is, referrals. Like what business are you going to drive to them? You say, hey, you know what? You've got a list of 3,800 people and I've got a list of, 3,000 people. I think we could do some cross promotion and we could both grow our businesses. Yeah.
And just being honest, this is business. If you come to me and you've got 100 clients or even 200 clients, I'm probably like, oh, okay. Cool, but I don't know how I'm going to promote you to my 3,800 and growing clients. Like you come to me and you've got something equal where I can double my business. Or if you come to me, we've had clients, our partnerships come to us and say, hey, I've got 10,000.
Right.
We'd love to partner with you guys because your people are just like right up our alley. And that's where I get excited. I'm like, yes, they're bringing something awesome to the table.
Yeah, exactly. So referrals is a great way, something you can offer them, and be specific about it. It's not just, oh yeah, I'll refer people over to you. It's like, no, I'm going to refer people over to you and here's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I communicate with my people via webinar. Let's do a webinar, have a plan behind it. Right. And then the other thing is publicity or exposure.
Absolutely.
So, maybe that, they're not interested in commissions, but they may, appreciate that you donate something in their name.
Yeah. Or for publicity or exposure, like somebody comes to me and they're like some huge icon that has a huge following that they're trying to grow their following or something like that. And they can promote me to expose me to all of their following. So like, straight up Mark Cuban, if you ever want to come and, promote SoTellUs, you're in, my buddy. Like, absolutely. So if you have clout, you may not even necessarily like you don't have a commissions you can give or a discount or something like that, but you've got clout, you've got following, it's not about if you've got, 300,000, 500,000, 1 million emails, guess what? That's not interesting anymore. Nobody cares about that. But if you are some huge social media influencer, okay, I know for a fact that like some of my hair salon studios, they have these influencers come in, get their hair done, and then their following is all like, oh my gosh, I need to get my hair done too.
Right.
And so they bounce over there and they want to get their hair done. So they're contacting them. Or even, a lot of these salons and hairstylists, they sell product too. So the person's talking about this product and it's like, oh yeah, just contact this salon and they'll get you they can ship you the product, blah, blah, blah. That is something that, is mutually beneficial. So if you've got a way to expose a lot of people to that person, that's the way to go.
Exactly. And then the final one that I want to talk about is giving them your services for free.
Yep.
Right. So maybe
everybody's like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? I don't want to give my services away for free. Like, look, I don't know what you charge for your services, whether it be $100, whether it be $1,000, whether it be $10,000.
Yes.
If you don't think that you are going to triple, quadruple, 10 times what you're going to make from them as a partner, then what it's going to cost you to provide your services, then they're not the right partner.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
So, sometimes that's what they need. They don't need commissions. They don't need this. They don't need that. But you have a service you can provide to them that would help them grow their business or fill a hole that they may have. And they're going to be willing to do that for your services. It's not going to cost you a ton because it's your services, right? But again, if they're the right partner, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's going to make you a bunch of money and it's going to make them happy. If you have a service that they need and you give it to them for free and in return, you're going to get a bunch of referrals or a bunch of business off of it. It's a win-win. It's a no-brainer.
All right. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Oh, how are they going to refer clients to you and how do you make it easy for them to refer people to you? Yep. All right. So I'll go ahead and take that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. There's a lot of different ways to do this. So it could be a webinar maybe. It could be email, it could be in person, it could be a phone. What you want to do is you want to look at how are they going to actually get clients to me? Yeah. And then how am I going to make it easy for them to do it? Because if it's not easy, then they're not going to do it, right? Because they're growing their business.
Yeah. Well, we've been approached a ton by people that were like, yeah, that's awesome. So how do we do this? How are you going to promote us? And then I already know how. I mean, we have tons of affiliates, like 475 affiliates out there. So we already have a whole game plan of how our affiliates can promote us to their people. But when they come to us, a lot of times it's like, they're like, well, I mean, I've done some emails. I mean, they just don't have this plan in place.
Right.
Get prepared. It doesn't take a lot to get prepared and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And that's going to make people, especially, usually you are approaching someone who maybe is a little bit elevated, a little level up from where you're currently at.
Right.
So you need to be prepared.
Exactly. So, that's the thing. You need to think about that. Like, you need to look at again, it goes back to how did they communicate with their people? And then can you line up with that?
You need to know what they do.
Exactly. And then you need to make it very easy for them to do that. So I'll roll kind of into that. Like, what are some tools that you can provide them to make that easy? Mm-hmm. So, for example, it could be brochures, right? Maybe you give them a stack of brochures that they can hand out because they're with their clients, face to face. Maybe it's a sales page that they just have to send people to, right? And that's where they're going to go do it. Like with us, SoTellUs and all of our referral partners, we have a sales page. It's very simple. Hey, send this person here. They order, you get credit.
Yeah.
Wow. How hard is that?
Right.
We've made it very simple. Maybe it's a webinar. Hey, I will put on the webinar. You just drive people to it.
Yep.
And here's, and make it easy for them. Like, oh, by the way, here's 3 emails that you're going to send out. Exactly. And I'm going to build the webinar. I'm going to build the landing page, the registration page. I'm going to do all the work. All you have to do is send out these 3 emails.
Yeah. And so to recap, it's like, you've already done the research. Do they communicate via webinar? Because you've signed up for their stuff. You've signed up for their email marketing. You've signed up for whatever. So is it webinars? Is it email? Are they talking to their clientele in person? Are they calling them on the phone? Because each one of those ways has a different way for you to make it easy on them to sell you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's one of the worst things is when someone comes to us and says, oh man, I want you to promote my product. Okay, how am I supposed to do that? Well, like if you could just write some emails. Wait, you want me to write emails about your product and send it out? Or like it just doesn't make any sense.
I'm having like horror flashbacks of like all the tens of thousands of hours that I've spent in meetings where it just at the end I'm like, what a waste of my time.
Yeah.
What a waste of my time because they want me to do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, no, this is too much work. I have companies already. I already have a job, right? Like I'm already working. I'm very, very busy. I'm not going to do all this additional stuff for you if it's not going to benefit me in some amazing way. And to be honest, again, you should be approaching me with everything almost in a nice little package and ready to go.
Right. Yeah. The answer is, okay, great. So I'll write the emails. I'll do the webinar. Okay, great. It'll be $10,000. You're going to pay me $10,000
for the
to
time.
Put together your referral partner program.
Yes.
And then I'll promote it,
Yes.
So yeah, make it very, very easy for them. And then now the most important part, Trevor, I want you to take this one and because this is the key because you can have so many partners out there.
Yes.
And they do nothing. Right? Or maybe they do a little bit in the beginning and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
That's the norm. Like I would say on average, less than 10% of your partners are going to be producers, high performers, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how you set up your partner program, but I think that's usually the case.
Yeah.
So how are you going to keep the relationship alive so that they're constantly giving you new business?
Yeah, so that's something that you have to foster the relationship. So you need to have a program set in place. Honestly, we're talking about you are building some sort of referral program at this point, right? You're building something that is an easy, well-oiled machine so that you can add on these partners. We can't go and add on 475 partners and expect them to do anything if we don't give them the tools to make it work. Right. But it's an amazing thing. It takes a little bit of time, energy, efforts, right? And some money, but it is amazing. And it is how we grow. People say all the time, how are you growing so fast? Because we have all these different avenues of revenue coming in, right? And all these different avenues of new clients coming in. And so this is just one piece that a lot of people struggle with building.
Yes.
So the biggest key component to this at the end of landing a great relationship is keeping it alive, keeping it going. So I would recommend that on a very basic level, you would do like calls with these people, like set up a schedule that's like a weekly call or a bi-weekly call. At the very worst, it's like once a month you are having some sort of phone call with them. But better than that, if you could arrange a meeting where you maybe get together for lunch, you take them out for lunch because, you know, they're helping build your business. So you want to take them out for lunch and tell them thank you basically, but you do it often. You schedule this out. And then another thing would be is some of these people, like how we grew, was from events. So they put on events. We made sure that we were communicating with them, that we were in the forefront of their minds so that they wanted us at their event. They wanted us speaking at their event. We sent them like reports on the sales that they had produced for us, their commissions. We were always sending them something every single month so that we were always right up here in their minds. And they were like, man, these guys are awesome. These guys make me $120,000 a year. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I want these guys to speak at my event again. I put them on the stage at one event and now I'm making $120K a year off these guys. I want them at the next one. So I'm making $240,000 next year, you know, and that's how you can really keep that relationship alive. It's you got to get unique with what you're doing, because what we do is obviously a little bit different than everybody else. That's why we've been so successful, thinking outside the box. But for you, I want you to stop and think about this, because it's a really important part of it. What can you do with your perfect relationship, you know, referral partner? What can you do to be fostering that and keeping it going so that it's not just a maybe one and done thing, or never gets off, never launches, right?
Yes.
In the first place, but keeping it going, that there are new referrals coming in or sales coming in every single month. Or if it's even, so like events, it might be, you know, one event a year, and then you guys communicate that you're going to do 2 webinars a year. So 3 points throughout the year, you are bringing on new clients for them. And then again, you're reporting every month how much they're getting and sending them their checks and everything like that. So it's really building a whole thing. Bringing that down, that's on a bigger scale, bringing that down to, you know, some of our smaller guys, that these are going to be personal relationships.
Right.
It's just doing common sense relationships. You know, we did common sense marketing. Now we're talking about common sense relationships. Be nice. Take them something, drop something off to them every so often. Make sure you're communicating with them. Make sure that they are thinking about you and going, oh yeah, that's right, Bob does this. I need to send Bob this new customer that I just got because it's going to be perfect for him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know, like a lot of our home inspectors, what they do is they put a candy bowl in the offices of real estate agents.
Yep.
Or brokers. And then once a week, they come by, they fill up the candy bowl. They say hi to everybody. They, you know, chit chat, make sure everyone's doing good. And it reminds them, right, every week of, oh yeah, you know, Bob from Bob's Home Inspection, you know, just came by and he gave us some candy, and they put their little flyers there and everything. But it's a weekly thing, right? So now when the real estate agents, when one of their clients say, hey, who should I use for a home inspection? Oh, well, Bob, you should use Bob. Like, in fact, you're eating Bob's candy right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's a simple thing. Or like you mentioned, the monthly lunch appointment, right? You set up that monthly appointment with them where, hey, I'm going to take you out to lunch. We're going to talk. We can share what's going good about our business. You know, like, do we need help anywhere? But you get that in the calendar. And then what are they going to do when they're looking at their calendar for the week? They're like, oh, I've got that lunch appointment with Troy coming up here this week. Man, have I referred anybody over to him? No, I haven't. Who should I refer? You know, is there anybody I could refer? Because Troy's about to buy me lunch.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, perfect example of just simple networking, right? We move into our new house. We build this new, beautiful home. We move in and dunk, 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 knock on the door. And there's a guy standing there and he's like, hey, you know, I have a landscaping company and I see you just moved into the area and you probably need some landscaping done. And so I just wanted to introduce myself. And we got to talking and he's like, what do you do? And so we talked about what we do and marketing and all this stuff and the review system. And he's like, wow, that's really awesome. You know what? I would love that. Can you show me a little bit more? And he hooks me. And I was like, ooh, smart. He hooks me. He signs up for my services. And then who do you think I'm going to have do my backyard?
Right.
He landed my backyard. Well, guess what? From there, he owns a pool company. So I'm getting a pool built. Guess who's building my pool? He's building my pool. Oh, guess what? They've got a pool cleaning company. That's, this is a family-owned business. They got all these businesses within the family. Oh, guess who's cleaning the pool from now on? They're cleaning the pool from now on. Oh, and by the way, they sell patio furniture. They build and sell patio furniture. Who do you think I'm buying my patio furniture from? Like, this guy is genius. He built all the services with his family around his niche.
Right. But the great thing about it,
he's also referring that off.
Exactly. The great thing about it, too, though, is you flipped it right around.
Yeah.
And, he became a marketing client.
Yes.
His family, everyone's become, he's referred tons of business to us.
Yes.
So he's gotten tons of business from you.
Yep.
But in the same sense, because of the relationship you built with him, he has been constantly referring new clients to us.
Absolutely.
Because you're in contact with him. You have a relationship. And it's not just a transactional, give me money, I'll give you money, you give me money kind of thing. That's business. That's not a relationship. You two have created a relationship.
Yes.
And
the thing, what's great about it is it's like, I've got multiple businesses that I'm now taking care of for him. And he's got multiple projects pools are not cheap. Right. Pool cleaning is not cheap. So his buddy does the pool cleaning, but guess what? He's a part of that. And his dad owns a patio furniture company, but guess what? He's a part of that. And he and his buddy own this landscaping business, and he's a part of that. Oh, and then he owns the pool company. So it's just like, but it was all built within this whole referral system, and he's benefiting. But how he approached me was, yes, he introduced himself, but very quickly he flipped it around with psychology, and it wasn't about him, it was about me. So wait, tell me a little bit about what you do. You guys have this beautiful home. I mean, you guys just moved into this amazing home. What is it that you do? Are you some big CEO? Of course, it doesn't hurt to throw out compliments. Or do you own some wonderful, massive business? He starts, and I was like, this guy's good. Like, I know all these tactics, my friend, and you are good. I like you. And so anyways, but that's what it ended up being. And so he's able to refer within there. And I'm sure more stuff along the way is going to pop up. Well, guess what? When building the pool, he's feeding all these other businesses, the plumbing, the excavation guy, the gas guy for running the gas line over. I mean, he's feeding all of these things with referrals. And guess what? They're all feeding him with referrals.
Yep.
So it's a win-win. Referral business is awesome, and it's usually cheap, if not free, and it just builds your business so fast. But nobody I can't tell you how many people say, well, my business is built on referrals. Great. What kind of system do you have set up to continue to make sure to guarantee predictable revenue? What kind of system do you have set up so that you guarantee that next month you have more referrals? And they're like, nothing. Well, bad things happen all the time. Guess what? If the gas guy gets hit by a bus and no longer starts referring you business, you might start slowing down. You need to set something up where people are going to want to continue to refer to you. Or the next guy walks in the door and does offer something. You're not offering them something, and the next guy is offering them something. They're going to go with them, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's it was interesting that you bring that up. Well, real quick, I'll just tell this one thing before it closes, but that's a really good point. Like, we have a client of ours that here in Arizona, there's like 1 million water damage and restoration companies.
Yeah.
Like, we live in the desert, but there's like 1,200 companies that deal with your flooded house.
Yes.
And so competition's crazy to get referrals from plumbers.
Yeah.
And one of our good buddies, he kind of started the whole idea out of like getting referrals from plumbers, and he was paying them like, hey, I'll give you $100 every time you refer somebody to me.
Yep.
And it just went and went and went and went. And he was telling me the other day, like, he can't even compete anymore because his competitors are out there saying, hey, I'll give you $1,200 for anybody that you refer to me that has water damage in their house. And he's like, the price has just gone up, skyrocketed, right? So a lot of his people stuck with him because of great relationships.
Yeah.
But the ones that didn't have a great relationship, he didn't have that real strong tie with them, they just went for the money.
Yep.
Right. So it affects his business. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure that you're offering them, something that's comparable.
Yeah.
But the relationship can make the difference.
Yeah. And it goes back to being innovative.
Yep.
Be innovative, because try to go for that person that's maybe out of your reach. You think, I'll never be able to land that. You'd be surprised. Especially when you get creative. People they get excited about creativity
Yes.
and uniqueness, right? So just get creative. Think. Everyone's going to have to take this podcast and think about their industry and their people. Who are their perfect partners that they can do referrals with and build that. But you want to start that now. Create something this month, especially if sometimes December is a little slower for people.
Yeah.
You know, business wise, it slows down a little bit. Don't just be like, oh, cool, I'm taking some time off. No, like build something. Use that time, because then when January comes, I don't know an industry that isn't crazy busy in January, usually. As long as the economy's good, January is usually awesome. But then February can slow down a little bit. March gets a little slower. Like it's like starts off super high and then everybody kind of trickles down a little bit. And then it gets like, oh, and it trickles down a bit. And then it gets, oh, and then trickles down. So during those downtimes, like now maybe, you want to spend the time to do the things like what we're talking about on this podcast. And that's why this whole month is about finish strong, get ready. Each week is all about doing the things that you need to implement right now to make next year awesome. Double, triple, quadruple your business. For some of you, that's hundreds of clients. For some of you, that's a couple of clients.
Right. But
it doesn't matter. That's what our goals are, and that's what we want to do. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening and joining us on another SoTellUs time. This has been a really awesome episode. I know I had a lot of fun. Troy, I know you have a lot of fun doing this. We hope you guys have a lot of fun listening to us. We will be back. Let's see. Next week is what? Christmas is on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Christmas is Wednesday, guys. But don't worry. Monday we will be recording. Tuesday we will be launching. So stay tuned. Let's finish this year out strong, because right after that, then it's going to go into a couple of people are going to take time off. I know y'all are going to take time off in between Christmas and New Year's, and then bam, before you know it, January's here. As always, we thank you so much for listening. Please share these episodes with everybody. YouTube, any podcast channel out there, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, anywhere you search, you can either simply type in SoTellUs and it'll pop up, or SoTellUs Time and it'll pop up. And we do want to promote that we have a YouTube channel. These are recorded, and it is a little bit fun probably to see us. You know, I get a little goofy sometimes, and it's a little more fun to watch them if you have time. So please go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We will catch you guys next week on another SoTellUs Time. See you later.
See you later, guys and girls.